Remembering the Battle of Raisangla and Indian soldiers' bravery of 1962 against rogue China. Opening a fire by the People's Liberation Army, that is PLA, on September 8th in a failed attempt to intimidate and dislodge Indian soldiers holding dominating heights near a towering mountain pass in eastern Ladakh reminds us yet again of 1962 war with China. Yes, the Indian troops had to put up a brave and fierce fight against well-equipped Chinese soldiers on a chilly Sunday morning. That historic battle of Raisangla is still remembered and adored as it was fought at heights of more than 18,000 feet. It witnessed a small group of 124 Indian soldiers repelling attack after attack by numerically superior and well-resourced enemy in November 1962. Yes, soldiers from the Charlie Company of the 13th Battalion of the Kumani Regiment indeed were pitched against more than 5,000 Chinese troops. Ironically, the advancing enemy infantry was also supported by heavy artillery fire. Yet, small group of Indian troops led by legendary Major Shaitan Singh fought to the last bullet and inflicted heavy casualties on the Chinese army. His outstanding leadership and courage is still remembered as the stuff of a legend. Under his leadership, unbelievably, the C Company was also known as the Group of Fearless Men. Interestingly, even after 3 months of that battle, the frozen bodies of Indian soldiers were found in their trenches. Yes, the dead men still holding their weapons. According to a book published by the Raniket-based Kumaon Regiment Center, the first attack was apparently launched by the enemy at the crack of dawn on November 18th. However, it was blunted with the major ordering his men to open fire at the Chinese the moment they came within their rifle range. The book titled The Images of Valor and Triumph, published in 2005, also further states, and I quote, "Many of the enemies fell, others continued to advance. But with every weapon of C Company firing, the gullies in front of the 8th platoon were soon full of dead and wounded Chinese." After their first attack failed due to stiff Indian resistance, the Chinese reportedly resorted to heavy artillery bombardment of their positions held by Major Singh and his men. The Indian soldiers had the odds stacked against them, but the fierce assault failed to crush their fighting spirit and determination to defend their positions till their last breath. The heavy shelling helped the Chinese troops launch multiple assaults, and the C Company soon found itself surrounded by the enemy. The book says, Major Singh recognized the positions held by soldiers and resighted the automatic weapons to take on the Chinese troops, a move that resulted in enemies suffering more casualties. However, the heroic officer was killed in action in this phase of the battle that resulted in 114 Indian deaths in a few hours of fighting. That clash reminds one yet again what happened recently at Galwan Valley in Ladakh, which triggered prevailing tensions for the past few months all along Indo-China border. Once again, Indian troops repelled against the aggressive and unprofessional Chinese who used rods and other weapons, which were strictly prohibited as per agreements. Though Indian soldiers suffered casualties and lost 20 lives, yet with empty hands they could as well kill more than 35 PLA men according to US intelligence sources. In that background, can there be any decorated soldier than former Army Chief General VP Malik, who was inducted in the Ladakh sector in October 1962 as captain with 3 Sikh Li to comment. This is what he said, and I quote, "We were directly in the Chusal battlefront, but were preparing defences in the rear on Dungti Chuma tank axis. The tactical significance of Raisangla lies in the dominating heights, Gurung Hill and Magar Hill, which have now been occupied by us. During the war, we did hear about Major Shaitan Singh's heroic action, but it was much later that I visited the place where I had fallen." Unquote. This is what former General Malik feels the options left before India to take on aggressive China to counter them with a lesson or two. Listen to him.
Chinese intentions are now quite clear, and you listed 10 hostile actions in the last 30 days. Now, what I have heard about the incident on 29th or 30th of this month is that there were about 100 to 120 PLA troops which tried to occupy a certain position. And our troops who were alert, they got to know about it in advance, and they thwarted their attempt to lodge themselves in this area. Look, I don't want to go into details because these tend to be more operational. But one is, of course, to confront wherever these people are trying to make some lodgements. The other is to have a counteraction in terms of going behind them or doing the same thing that they are trying to do, whether it is in Eastern Ladakh sector or it is elsewhere. So those options are always there. And what we have to remember is that hereafter, whatever action we take, there is likely to be likelihood of the use of artillery, even Air Force. I won't rule that out. And as I said, hereafter, whatever action is taken by us on the offensive side, are doing the same thing that these chaps are trying to do, there will be rapid escalation, and we must be prepared for that.
The fresh provocation on August 29th and 30th was due to Indian troops occupying the high ridges all along Pangong Lake. What is more disgracing is that in the fresh confrontation in Rizangli Ridgeline in eastern Ladakh on Monday evening, where the soldiers of the Chinese People's Liberation Army reportedly carried clubs and spears. This was just 3 days after the defense ministers of India and China held talks in Moscow and ahead of expected meetings between their foreign ministers in Russian capital on Thursday. Time has come for India to draw or redraw its borders clearly and settle disputes, if any, with its neighbors, once for all without any ambiguity. That's in the best interest of the country, and it is only possible under the strong leadership of Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. This is in the wake of how the things previous regimes have messed up, especially with rogue China, which occupied our rightful territories, including Tibet and J&K, besides threatening to do so in Arunachal Pradesh. This is MS Purti for Orange News 9 TV.
For unbiased, accurate and in-depth news analysis, watch Orange News 9 TV on YouTube. Subscribe. Press bell icon, like, comment and share. Edited and promoted by seasoned journalist M.S. Shankar.